Hi, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of The Dowagers. I'm Cynthia Schrock,
And I'm Sharon Smith.
and we are so excited to be back. We feel like it's been forever. We usually do about 2 podcasts a month, when you say. I mean, that's
Yep.
about what it comes out to be, about once every 2 weeks. And so this one, because we are in the beginning of November, we thought now would be a good time to talk about the holidays. And thanks to Sharon, we were actually going to talk about something else. But she decided, hey, let's talk about this. And I was like, yes, that is what we need to talk about because we've both been in a funk lately. And so Sharon came up with a holiday funk. And that is where we're at. So, what do you want to talk about, Sharon,
Oh,
today? Just you and
boy.
I here talking about the yuckiness of still having a loved one. I mean, even 2 years later, here we are.
Yeah. Yeah. We definitely we're both definitely in a funk, holiday funk. And we were going to Israel. We had our trip, our dowager's trip to Israel, and we were looking so forward to it. When Cynthia first asked me to go, I said, well, let me think about it. And then she's like, what's to think about? And then I went, oh yeah, it's December. I don't like December
Yeah.
anymore. And I said, of course I'm going. And so that we were going and we were excited. It was like, 13 days or something. It was
Yes.
the time
Yes.
it
It
was
was
going
a
to be
nice
really,
big trip.
really, like, take away some of the big chunk of the time.
And it was something to look forward to, you
It
know?
was, it was, and we already, we had so many things planned, but it got canceled,
Yeah.
sadly, because of what's going on in Israel right now. And
Justifiably.
yeah, definitely. And we have no business being there. And um so now we're kind of like the bottom kind of fell out for me. That's kind of how I felt, and I didn't realize it at first. And I think you said that that's kind of how you were feeling too.
Yeah,
Um, so the holidays are really hard,
they are.
especially when you're used to having lovely holidays, with
Yes.
friends and family, and taking in all the festivities that just leading up to the day, whether it be Thanksgiving or be it, Christmas. And, I was a hairdresser for my career. And so for, 38 years, being in the hair business at the holiday time, it's insane, because everybody wants to get in and get everything done, and they want to get it as close to the holiday day. So you didn't really get to enjoy a lot of the things because you were just exhausted from working so much. And every year I would say, okay, this year I'm going to get all my shopping done. This year I'm going to have all the things done ahead of time, so when I get into this busy season, I'm not going to have to do those things. I'm just going to be able to go to, all see all the lights and whatever the festivities are. I'm going to take advantage of those. Yeah. And that never happened.
And it never happens. No, it doesn't. It doesn't.
Never happened. And I'm like, and my husband would laugh. He'd go, okay, well, we'll see. And I'm like, no, really, this year I'm going to do it. And I never did. Well, now being retired, um, now I have all the time in the world to do those things. And now my husband's not here to do them with me. And it's hard. And
Yeah.
and you don't want to not be happy. You do not want to, you don't want to not see other people happy and enjoy the holidays just because, you're like, God, can January 2nd just come back?
Yes. 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 And you know what's funny is I think it's only us widows who understand that. And widowers, I mean anybody, it's because there is such a hole there. And if you think about it, this absolutely floored me. I actually thought about it last night. This is
Mm.
our third
Oh
holiday
boy.
without them.
You're right. You're
I mean,
right.
when you think about it in those terms, I feel like it was yesterday.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
this is our third. And I go back to the first one. And let me tell you, I even look back at the first one trying to make it as normal as I could for my adult children and everything. And then what you're doing is I'm literally running on adrenaline. I like cooked like the dickens out of that Thanksgiving meal. And then the next year, I did not even have the energy or have it within me. So I
Mm.
think the first one, after they're gone, you're like, still like that little hamster on a wheel, just trying to make everything seem like it's normal. The next year, this year, I could care less whether a
Yeah.
turkey cooked or not. I have to be honest with you. I'm not even making Thanksgiving at all. I I drive for an elderly woman, and she invited me and my family to her clubhouse for Thanksgiving.
Oh no. Oh no.
And I said, absolutely, I am there.
Oh gosh.
And I thought, you know what? She doesn't have any family. Her family, none of her children come for Thanksgiving. They come for Christmas, but not for Thanksgiving.
Okay.
And I thought, you know what? She doesn't have anybody. I really do not have it in me. Because as you start thinking about this, let's be totally honest. Think about the roles that Jeff filled
Mhm.
during the holidays. I think about the roles Eric filled. Eric loved at Thanksgiving to brine a turkey. And that
Mm.
literally takes place days beforehand. But he took care of it all.
Right.
I never had to worry about that.
Yeah. You didn't have to like, honey, did you do this? Did you do it like that? No, he that was his thing. So he
It
took care
was
of
the
it. Yeah.
first year. And I think the first year I did that, but I also walked out to my fridge. Now he would brine it in this massive 5-gallon bucket.
Okay.
And then it had to be put in the fridge. So you have to remove shelves out of the fridge. And then you have to try to pick up this flippin' 20-pound turkey in a bucket full of water, brining
Okay.
water, to get it in the fridge. I didn't have even the strength to do that. And I thought, right there's a roll. That's gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my son's at work and my son in law's at work. I can't call on anybody.
Right. Oh gosh.
And so you start thinking about those roles. And like, if I was doing something in the kitchen, I'd be like, hey, can you help with it? He'd jump right in. Or on your way home, can you pick up the, we just don't have that anymore.
Mm. No. 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 No.
So when you
It's
start
so
breaking down the
different.
holidays, it can bring a funk because you're realizing the roles they played aren't being filled by other actors. I mean, you know
Right.
what? I mean, if we're going to
Right.
be honest, they're not,
Right.
and they can never be.
I don't even remember the first Thanksgiving. I know I didn't have it. I think we probably went to my daughter-in-law's family's house, and I'm sure it wasn't pleasant for me and for them to be around me because, you know,
Well,
everyone's
especially
probably wondering, "Whoa, God,
what
when's she gonna,
state we're
you know,
in.
how's this gonna play out?" Um, Christmas, I do remember that, and it was
Yeah.
a disaster. But yeah, and then last year, um, I think we did the same. I think we went by my daughter-in-law's family's house, and so I was like, okay. So this year, I decided I was going to have Thanksgiving. And
Yeah.
I have no idea how this is going to turn out. But the cooking part, I used to love to have Thanksgiving,
Yes.
and it's kind of a tradition with us because my house was full of men, right? My husband and my two sons. So then it was like it was football, and I would fight for the Macy's Day Parade for in the morning. That was always something I did with my mom. And then then the football started, and then that's what it was. And then we'd have a big dinner, and it was lovely. And cooking a turkey is no problem for me. I like to do all of it. I don't even like to have anybody bring anything. I'll just do it all. But that doesn't work out because everybody wants to bring something. So this year it's like, all right, I said, you know what? And I think everybody looked at me like, um, okay. Are you sure this isn't going to be too much for you? And I'm like, no, I'm going to be fine. I'm going to be fine. I have no idea. But I said,
Only you, Sharon.
we'll all chip in. I'm just like, well, I was feeling it. And then, yeah, I don't know. So we'll see. It could be it could be we could be ordering something from whatever's open at the last minute. No, it'll be fine. But, um,
Hey, don't think I have not been tempted in the past.
busy. I
Say
think
that
it's
again.
busy. I said, I think it's going to keep me busy. And
Oh,
then I won't think about it that Jeff's not here so much. But, we always like, and I don't know how everybody's going to feel about this, but this is just how we do it with my own little family is, we always have a place for Jeff. We always have his picture and we always light a candle. So, yeah, we'll do that.
yeah,
So, if it makes people uncomfortable, well, so be it. I mean,
yeah.
at my house, I don't, take it to somebody else's house and do it. It's like, okay, Jeff's here.
I brought Jeff. Where do you want him to sit?
Yeah, and he's gonna sit here, you know. But it's my house, so I get to do what I want,
In this
right?
season, too, with things
Yeah,
like that.
yeah, yeah.
You know what? That's really nice that you do that. That's very nice. It's very honoring.
Well, and I
I
mean, we
like to do that.
celebrate Jeff's birthday. The kids come over, and the grandkids are little. They're 3 and 5 now.
Yeah,
Um, and but we've done it for the last 2 years, and so so it's like it's just kind of expected, and we have a birthday cake and we eat what Jeff liked to eat for his birthday, and we let a balloon go off to heaven, and the kids sing happy birthday, and they always want to blow out the candle whether you're here or you're not here. So yeah, so we just and I feel like we will do that forever.
yeah.
um and then when it comes to, the holidays, we just, we have his picture and big picture and, candle, and we just include him. And
I
you
love
know,
that. I love that.
I think it's honoring Jeff, but I think it's also, it's giving the little kids maybe some respect,
Mhm.
you
Ooh,
know,
that's good.
and
That's good.
yeah, and they love it, so and I certainly, melts my heart because, I, any way that I can keep my husband a part of everything or keep Jeff a part of everything. And
True.
um I do,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
do. Yeah.
And I think holidays are just hard all the way around. Um, you know, I I think that for me is why I was so looking forward to Israel because it was going to be a huge chunk distraction from Christmas.
Hmm.
And um and on top of it, I was counting on being able to get gifts for people,
Right? Oh yeah, right?
which
Yeah.
we'll
Yeah.
do. Which we'll do that next year. But for me, I think for me, even the bigger disappointment for me was this was originally a trip Eric and I had planned.
Yeah.
And for him not to be there, I think I was looking forward to it in that sense because we were talking about doing the holidays where we're not forgetting, we're not trying to ignore, but we're trying to still honor our loved ones, but
Hmm.
yet honoring in a much different way, you know, learning how to walk in a season of where we can honor him without always having to do the same things over and over again. Where you really do have to start when you lose a loved one like that, you do have to start doing some things differently. Like the
Yeah.
birthday party,
Yeah.
you know? You have to you're still honoring, but you're doing things a little bit differently than they would have been.
Yeah.
And there's still that tinge in your heart. Can you think of some of the roles that Jeff kind of fulfilled at the holidays that you can think of?
Well, I can tell you with Christmas, He played Santa.
Ah,
And that
ah.
that that just it hurts us all that, and he did such a damn good job at it. I can remember when I bought the Santa suit. We still lived in Wisconsin. We hadn't even moved to Florida, and it was after Christmas, and I saw the Santa suit. I thought, oh my god, our kids weren't married, or anything, so it was like we weren't even to that point. And I bought it, and I brought it home, and I said, "Look what I got you!" And and I was all excited. He goes, I am not wearing that. And I say, "Oh, you are, and you are so gonna love it." And
We have
and
such influence as wives, don't we?
oh, I know, right? And
We really had influence over them if we admit it.
before our kids were even married, before of course before we had grandchildren, he wore that Halloween costume, that Santa suit, for my mom when my mom was still alive and she had dementia, Alzheimer's, and for her facility that she lived at, they were having a party and they were going to have a Santa. And I said, "Whoa, do you have a Santa?" And they said, "No." I said, "I think I might have one for you." And they're like, "Really?" So he played Santa for that. And oh my gosh, he loved it. And it was for the big people and it was for the little people. And
Yeah.
all the people were sitting on his lap, and he just had a blast with it. And then another year, and then he did it again. He did it every year after that. Probably 3 years, I think it was. And then one year we went to pick up our son at the airport, and he dressed up as Santa and carried a sign that said Dustin Smith. And so he walked clear across. So everybody's on. And then we were way in the back, and Dusty didn't know, right, that he was, and then, and he sees this and he's like, what the heck? And all of a sudden, truly, Jeff got a lot of wear out of this Santa suit. And
Oh, I
then
love that.
and then once we had, our grandkids, then I mean Finn, gosh, he would be at the golf cart parade, he'd wear the Santa suit. And he actually did it for a neighbor too, a little boy that was right on the edge when they get to that age where they don't believe.
Oh, yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
they're like, "Oh," and he goes, "Oh." And we lived in a condo place at that time. So at a certain time when they said the boy was going to bed, then he got his Santa suit on and he walked through like the sidewalk, ringing the bells, and the knapsack, and the boy was like, the parents were watching this, and he like peeked out the window and he's like, "Oh my gosh, oh my gosh, he really is real, Mom, he really is real." And then he disappeared. So he had
Oh,
a
I
lot of
love
pictures
it.
of it. And then, then we did it with with the grandkids. And I have so many pictures of him with playing Santa Claus because he loved it. The
Oh,
hardest part was that he needed to change his voice, and he would change it to ho ho ho, and then he would revert to his voice, and then our oldest grandson would look at, and I think one time he said ho ho ho, he go, Grandpa, Grandpa. I was like,
he figured it out.
oh my goodness. But that's, yeah. And
Oh,
gosh, we look so forward to so many fun things with that. But yeah, that would be the tough one. That would be the tough one. And and then,
that.
decorating the tree, he had his role, what he had to do. And and we would make a night of it. We'd get pizza, and we'd have wine or drinks, and then he'd, put the lights on, and then he'd hand me the ornaments, and then I'd put them on, and then, I'd say, "No, no, no, not that one." So we would, yeah. So, yeah, I miss that. I miss
Yeah,
that
yeah,
tremendously. The first year that when Christmas came, the first year that he wasn't here, I put the Christmas tree
yeah.
up and I had the kids come over and we're going to decorate the Christmas tree. Yeah, no, no. I was in the
All I
bed.
did was sit on the sofa and cry.
Oh, yeah, that's what I was in the bed crying hysterically.
Every year I do it.
Ah,
I hate it.
and then that year, so I said, "No, no, no, just I'm not doing it. I couldn't do it." So a friend of mine came and he said, "Well, I love to decorate Christmas trees. How about you go away and I decorate your Christmas tree?" Okay. And
What?
so when I
That's
came
somebody
back,
do
it was
that.
decorated. So I was like, "Okay." Then the next year was still, I did it, but it was hard and the kids were here. And last year I bought a new Christmas tree. And I decorated that. Well, I guess that would have been the yeah. So yeah, I got a new Christmas tree and I decorated. I did it. I did it. It was super hard, but I did it.
Wow. And you want to hear the crazy thing that I did? The summer before everything went to pot, um, we were on a family vacation in Gatlinburg, Tennessee. And Gatlinburg has this massive Christmas store. So we're July in Gatlinburg, Tennessee, like 90 some degrees outside, hotter than all get out. And we're walking through this Christmas store. And I look and I see these adorable, tiny little cardinals. And they
Mm,
were clips where the cardinal was sitting on a clip and you clipped it to the branches of the tree. And I looked at Eric and I'm like, honey, wouldn't that be adorable to have cardinals all over the tree? And he
mm,
said, is that what you want? And I said, yes, I really think that that would be really cute. And he goes, get as many as you want for our tree. So I loaded up my basket with all of these cardinals. And then we come back, and 6 weeks later, he's gone.
oh,
I completely forgot about those cardinals till that Christmas when I got them out. I
oh,
opened up a bag and I'm like, what's this bag? And I open it up to see all of the cardinals that were in there. And they say cardinals are a sign that if a loved one's passed. And I thought,
mhm.
whoa, how crazy is that? That I bought cardinals for my Christmas tree and he was in total agreement with it.
Yep, yep,
And little
yep.
did I know the significance it would have. But do you know, for the life of me, I couldn't even put them on the tree.
Mm,
The kids did it for me. I could not do it. And he used to decorate the outside of the house
mm-hmm,
with all the lights. My son and my son-in-law both are terrified of heights.
mm,
So they won't get up there and put my lights up for me. So to me, it's such a big gap because that helps, but there's nobody there to do it.
mm-hmm.
Like the Santa,
Yeah,
it just makes it hard because it's such a joyful part of
yeah.
something that is supposed to be joyful, but yet there's such sadness with it when that hole is there, when that person is gone, and that role is just no longer able to be fulfilled. It just makes it really hard.
It does. It does. And there's just no easy way around it. I
Mm-mm.
mean, we just have to keep going through it. And I think, changing some of the things that we did. But, I think what you want to do is you want to hang on to everything that was. You don't,
Yes.
you
Yes.
you don't, you don't want to let go of anything because that's how we always did it. That's how we always did it. And you did it for probably many, 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 many years.
Yes.
So it's hard. You want to hang on to that. So, but yet, you know, it's not going to be like that. And you have to start making new memories.
Yeah.
So there's a balance there. So I think that's really hard for, for people, widows, um, to find that balance. And I don't think it just comes. And I don't think you can. And we've seen this with many things. I don't think you can just go, okay, well, okay, okay, that was then that we're done with that. We're gonna start over. We're gonna start fresh. We're gonna and
Oh,
you can
Sharon,
try
I'm so
that.
glad you said
I
that.
don't
That's
think it's
so
gonna work.
true. You can't do that. That's like trying to erase that person, and you don't want to do that either.
No,
But you
no.
can learn how to honor without erasing. You
Yeah.
know,
So
honor
it's a
is a big
balance.
thing.
Yeah. And I'm not sure. I think I'm still on the balancing teeter totter, and it's like,
Totally.
so I don't know how much time it takes. I
Yeah.
don't know how much. And even if your spouse was not into any of that stuff, even if they didn't help you with, the cooking or the cleaning or the decorating or the shopping or any of those things, they just were there for the day, just that's how it is. Um, there that was still they were still there. They were still there for the day.
Yeah.
So, um, and you probably, now that they're gone, I would guess that maybe you realize maybe they did have a bigger part in all of that than what
Mm,
you actually realized,
yeah. And
because
have actually a really good advice too when you think about it. I just encourage those who listen to this podcast before the holidays really think back at the roles that your spouse played in during the holidays. You know, and maybe there's even some bitterness or hurt there because there wasn't a lot of participation.
that's
Maybe
fine.
there's forgiveness that needs to be given or done for their spouse, or maybe there's because I know that can be a big part of it too. Sometimes we're angry because they didn't fulfill our expectations,
Yeah.
and maybe you just need to learn to walk in forgiveness this time of year. I mean, what a better time of year than to be thankful for them at Thanksgiving, and to realize at Christmas time what a joy they were in your life, and maybe find those things that they brought joy to your life with, because that's good advice right there.
Mm-hmm.
Because I think too often, if we try to walk too far away from things like that and totally get rid and do new, down the road you're eventually going to regret it.
You really are. You really are. You really are. It's this grieving is a process, and
Yes.
it's never going to be it's never going to be not there. It's always going to be a part of your life. It's
Yeah.
always going to be a part of your life. Um so yeah, you have to find how to marry it, how to put it all together and go forward and still find joy, joy in the journey,
Yeah.
joy in the journey, because it is a journey, and we grow, and maybe add some different things in that you didn't do, completely different things than you did with your spouse. Maybe add some different things in, um, and start that putting that in the journey,
Yeah.
that you didn't do before. And don't overload yourself. Don't, I
Yes.
think that was one of the things that, I went with my grief share. They had surviving the holidays, which was, it made sense because and Jeff died in August and Eric died in September, so we were right there.
Yeah.
We were right at the door, leading right into it. And it was just, don't overload yourself, don't say yes to everything, don't say no to everything. Just kind of figure out, especially in the first year,
Yeah.
um in the beginning, just kind of ease yourself into it, and maybe do it with people that will understand that if you get to the door and you just like, you can't do it, I can't
Mhm.
do it, um then it's okay. Don't make me feel bad about it or whatever. And I
Yes.
also think that, don't smother me either,
Yeah.
because that's another, sometimes people tend to like smother you, like that'll make you feel better, that'll make you not feel so sad and you'll forget. You're not going to.
No, not at all.